Sorry for the delay, but here I am once again. This is Deb from Debbz Den here in Lethbridge, downtown. And we are on Just FM in the studios. And today I have my fantastic guest with me, an inspiration to us all, Trevor Stewart.
Thank you very much
from
for
the
having me.
Kootenays, from the West Kootenays, and here blessing our beautiful city here in Lethbridge. And I'm honored to have you here today.
Well, it's an honor to be on your show.
Yes, we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, but in the end it works out well because now I get to show off these great pictures here of different areas. Is this you in this picture?
Yeah, that's
that
me.
you?
Yeah, that's. You know, I was in this picture. I was coming down off the top of Mount Everest in the pitch dark, and we summited at 3:45 in the morning. So I never got a beautiful shot up there. But just as the sun came out on the way down, I got that photo of the sunrise behind me.
You look frosty.
It was frosty. It was very frosty. It was like today out there.
Yeah, minus 17.
Yeah. Well, no, it was colder than that.
Was it?
Yeah, very. Yeah, it was probably double that.
So yeah, is this bringing back any memories, this deep freeze we've been going through?
Yeah. I actually went to spin class this morning in shorts.
Really?
Yeah, came out all sweaty outside, and it's all really cold then, right? But
yeah.
It was all good.
Oh yeah, that's being Canadian for you. We can take that wretched cold air and just embrace it.
Well, we hope we can. Anyway.
We survive it every year after year. We survive that energy. So.
Hey, Sean.
And my phone over there is the other way, so I don't know. I can't see if anybody is sending me any messages.
Because yours
Sorry,
is the other way around.
My phone is the other way around. We've decided to go live so that we can put up these awesome pictures and then show some different things here that's going on. What's going on with this picture here? I know we are on radio. So the first picture that we were looking at here is elevating lives one peak at a time, and I do believe that's what we have on this key to the city.
The key to the city, yes.
So that picture is perfect for our opening thing here. That Trevor actually received the key to Lethbridge, or one of the keys, I'm sure. And this is to honor the kindness and the generosity and your accomplishments. I would think that
it is definitely something that not very many people have a key to the city, which I got back from climbing Everest, and a council member came up to me, Bridget, and said, Trevor, you're getting the key to the city. And I said, well, what is the key to the city? I didn't even know. I thought there was such a thing because it's so rare. Anyway, so the significance of it is...
I'm just going to come in on your show here, on your video, and just let people look at that.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely beautiful, and
go show it on yours too.
That has to be a beautiful thing. I'll just hold it up over here.
So the significance of the key
hopefully
is that
you can see that
it goes back centuries and centuries. So way back in the centuries of old, that people who were trusted entirely got a key to the city. So the walls surrounded the city, and there was a gate in the front, and a gate in the back, and they got a key, and they come and go day or night. But back in those days, at dusk, the gates were closed and nobody could go in and out except people with the key to the city.
Wow!
So this is really cool to get such a thing. It's a huge honor. It's a huge honor. It doesn't unlock any vaults or anything. I thought maybe that would unlock the BMO vault or Royal Bank vault, but it don't.
Yeah, well, not that we've tried yet. You never know. What they've got hiding in town hall.
Yeah.
So I know we kind of got started. We were talking about a few things, and we kind of went over where you were born and, and where you're from. You're from the East
Kootenays. Yeah. Born in Invermere. So if there's anyone around Invermere, Canal Flats watching this, or even some of you have moved away and now reside in different places, you'll know Canal Flats. You'll know Skookumchuck, which we call Skookie. And different places like that, and so that's my home stomping grounds. So a lot of fun growing up in the Rocky Mountains.
So you decided that you wanted to do something for people.
I did.
While you were kind of nominated into it, and so, you know, if you're going to do something, why don't you just go big?
Yeah, go big or go home, they say, right? So
that's a good way to live.
Yeah. So it all started in 2007 when I got invited to skate a 50K marathon on Sylvan Lake by Red Deer, Alberta.
Yeah.
And so I went up there, and funny story, I show up in hockey skates and jeans and a Dodge toque and a big winter coat, and everybody else is in like these spandex outfits with speed skates, and they're there to win this race, and I'm like, oh, I'm way out of my element here. But I continued going around the 5K laps until I had done my 50K.
Well, that's
so it was a very hard feat to do in hockey skates. But so
but
what
you
happened?
Persevered and carried on.
I persevered and finished that. So here in Lethbridge back in 2007, there was a friend of mine sitting on the board for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and he said, "Hey Trev, you know what? If you can skate 50K for kids," he said, "can you climb a mountain for us?" And I'm like, "Well, sure." So
how sure? Climb like the world's biggest mountains? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I didn't know it was the world's biggest mountain. I had no clue. I just thought it was like maybe Kananaskis or Canmore or Waterton National Park, somewhere local.
Tabletop
mountain, something, you know. And I just didn't even give it any thought. I'm like, sure. So then I said, oh, it's a fundraiser. Oh, cool. So I started fundraising for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and next thing you know, I'd raised $1,000, and then it just started growing from there. But they called me and said, Trevor, you don't even know which mountain you're climbing yet. You got to come in and check it out. So I came in and I talked to Rick, and he says, Trevor, do you recognize this mountain? And I'm like, no, I have no idea where this is. And he's like, yeah, it's because it's not anywhere around here. And I'm like, what? So I found out it was Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, and I was shocked to find out they even had mountains there, because I had no clue, no passport, overweight, I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, so ultimately, me deciding to go and skate 50 kilometers to raise money for building orphanages in Guatemala changed my life. It ultimately altered the course of my life, which I was going at the time, and it put me in a different direction. So sometimes when you get an invite to go do something good and get involved with a charity or just participate in a race or something, it could change your life. And
it could change.
And it did. So
you never know who's going to, at any moment, who's going to just show up in your life.
Exactly, yes. And so my life has completely changed since 2007, and it's been a long journey, that's for sure, but a lot of fun. So
you registered in 2006?
I registered in 2007.
In 2007?
Yeah, became a Big Brother.
That's nice.
Right, and then went and trained for 8 months to get my out of shape body in shape and get my mindset in the right place, and it transformed everything about me. So it took me from being 28% body fat to 8% body fat in 8 months. It transformed me, and the next thing you know, I was off on Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. Got my passport. Everything was fine. Traveled all by myself. It was
it was by yourself.
Yeah, and joined up with people over in Amsterdam, and it was so great. Yeah.
What an adventure!
It was an adventure of a lifetime.
And not only that, is to feel good about it because you're helping people.
Right.
Who was your first charity that you, besides, I guess you were saying you were skating for?
It was, yes, and that was a church charity from Picture Butte, I guess, that invited me to join them up there. And so I don't even know which charity it was for. I gave my participant fee and donated at the silent auction after at the dinner, so I don't know who it all. But the big one was the Big Brothers Big Sisters, and now it's also the YWCA Lethbridge and District Harbor House.
Well, that's good. That is good. So when you decided that you were gonna, you would have to change how long were you gone for?
Well, to do Kilimanjaro,
right?
I was gone a total of 3 weeks, but it was only a week climb. But I took an extra week there and did a safari. But also we went and visited School for Orphans. Oh, melt my heart. if we're gonna do a series, I can talk about that.
We'll talk on that
we'll
afterwards.
talk
We'll
about
just
that
get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna have to talk about that.
Yes.
About some of the people's lives that maybe you've saved or that you helped a little bit. I definitely want to talk about that story too.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's another one. So let's just get started right from the start then, when you really decided that doing this thing and getting on the plane, and here you go.
Here I go.
Yeah.
I was committed. No turning back.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but
to me it seems a little frightening because there's probably not going to be a whole lot of oxygen when you get near the top.
Well, I had no idea what to expect.
Some people don't make it.
19,400 feet is a long ways up, and 19,400. Yeah. So I had no idea, right? I had trekked around here, doing little stuff. I'm terrified of heights, by the way. So if you don't know that, I'm terrified of heights. So I had said I was never going to climb anything steep. So
never say never, right?
Never say never. Never say never. No.
Yeah. You cannot say never.
No.
So when you got on that plane, you must have really been having some sort of an inner excitement that was just this is like the thrill of a lifetime, I would think, when it's your first journey. You've never done it. You're going out on your own.
Yes.
And you know that you're not only changing your lives, as you're going to be also helping other people's life.
That's
such a sacrifice, really, and even the time to put, but it did get you in shape, right?
Yeah.
So that was good all the way around.
Oh, it was an amazing experience, and you said getting on that plane by myself. I had to get a passport. I'd never traveled outside of our continent before, and so it was a huge step for me because it was Africa I was going to. I had to get all my shots and everything, and I was like, a little freaked out. But it ended up being an amazing experience for the most part, yeah.
So when I'm thinking African mountain, I'm thinking they're warm.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm thinking Africa's got to have warm mountains.
Yes, that's what I would have thought. But when I went to Big Brothers, there's a glacier on the top, and I'm like, that can't be Africa. but it definitely is. So there's actually different. The elevation takes you through totally different climates. So it's really amazing. So there's rainforest at the bottom and glaciers on the top. And
so nice hot rainforest.
Yes, and you're trekking through this beautiful rainforest, and you're seeing the monkeys, and you're seeing elephant poop, and you're like, yeah, there's elephants in here. This is crazy. But anyway, so you're right, and you go through that, and you think I'm on my way, and it's wet and muddy and next thing you know, you come out of that, and you're now in high alpine area where it's little shrubs, little tiny trees. The Kilimanjaro trees are amazing. Google
like
that.
ours.
Yeah, no, they look like something like a cactus. Yeah, it's really cool. Google Kilimanjaro trees. It's really neat. And then you get out of that, and now you're just in the area where it's barren, very barren, and a lot of the dust from the big eruption 750 years ago, the volcano, all the dust is blowing around, so it gets in everything, gets in your eyes and your clothes and everything.
So it's windy.
It gets windier and windier, and then next thing you know, there's Kilimanjaro, and you're going right along flanking it. It's really, really amazing. Getting colder and snow. Yeah.
So once you get past the plants and you get past, then you get into a more of just a plain desert, barren,
very barren,
windy area.
Part of the world. Yeah, that's right.
And then what happens when you get past that? You said you get to when you start to realize that you're heading towards these peaks.
Yes, and we took the Lemosho route, which is the longest route, and all of a sudden,
probably the least steep though.
Well. This one has the Great Bronco Wall on it.
Okay, that doesn't sound very.
So
easy.
it is fun. So if anyone's listening to that, it's called the Great Bronco Wall, and it's 750 feet, and it's a scramble. It's really amazing, and it's just so fun to be on that mountain. So you get over that, and then it's your summit, and then you can see the zigzaggy trail going up the summit, and And the higher you go, the slower you have to go.
Is that for breathing purposes? Is it oxygen, or
yeah?
Do you have to wear oxygen tanks? I noticed that you've got like little oxygen bottle.
I have my little mask from Everest along just to show people, but we didn't need it on Kilimanjaro at all. We never even brought oxygen along except for emergencies.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, our group was going quite well until we got up by the lava hut on Mount Kilimanjaro, and one of our team fellas started, his oxygen did not convert into oxygen, it converted into water, and it started filling up his lungs, and we had to get him off the mountain. So it was pretty crazy to call in a helicopter and to see our companion being put into a helicopter and flown off of there, and we had no idea how he was going to do, and so these things were starting to affect us, and then just pushing for the peak. And anyway, they were in a constant communication with him, and they said once they got him down lower, he started breathing and started doing better.
You think that's just from the pressure or the lag?
Yeah, it's thin air.
It's thin air up there, so.
And just going too fast too if it'll just create water in your lungs, so it is very lethal.
So that's dangerous.
It's very dangerous, yeah.
So I guess that's almost like scuba diving. If you go down too fast, you could kill yourself. Yes. Come up too fast, you could kill yourself.
You go slow.
But you go the right pace, it's just like nothing.
That's right.
It's just like nothing's going on.
Exactly.
But if you come up too fast, you could blow your eardrums. You can do all kinds of things.
Yes,
so
definitely.
It's like the opposite of that.
Yes.
What do you got there?
So I have 2 rocks from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And
I'd say that's crystals.
These were right beside each other, so black and white. So just
duality.
Yeah, just want to show these.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So hey guys, it's nice to see you on watching. So you see this rock here? This I picked up from the very top of Mount Kilimanjaro, right beside this rock, and this is lava and obsidian and quartz all mixed together in the heat of the volcanic eruption.
And you can see the different lines in it.
Yeah, you can see the different lines and that too. So yeah, very
and
cool.
That one's definitely a quartz crystal. And it has peaks on it.
Yeah, it does. So I had to bring that home. I mean, it's really amazing. I know it's a national park, but Kilimanjaro is so huge, it won't miss 2 little rocks. So
no.
And I didn't think I was going back, but
I guess if you're not coming back, but in the native culture they believe that every rock carries a story also.
Yes.
And crystals especially carry stories, so you're gonna have to sit down and do some meditating with that and listen to it.
Yeah, right? Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because every crystal has a story. And maybe that's
wonderful.
why you said that you kept seeing it.
I did. I was doing push-ups on the top of Kilimanjaro, and every time I came down I saw this crystal poking out of the ash on top. And so when I was done and I went back there and I was looking, I was like, there it is, and I dug it out of the ash. Wow. Pretty interesting. Yeah.
It is, and I'm a crystal collector myself and do crystal healing, so absolutely love those kinds of bring home things.
Yes, lots of energy in that rock.
Yeah, and also it's a piece of the mountain that you're bringing back too,
That's right? Yeah.
You're always going to have that.
Yes.
So that is awesome. Let's see, what else can we talk about? What else do you have here for toys?
This is right
this picture
from
here
Africa
for a
too.
second.
Oh, this is from Everest.
Oh, that one's from Everest.
Yeah,
okay.
that's from Mount Everest. Yeah.
Okay.
So
this one is Kilimanjaro?
No, this is Everest.
That's Everest
yeah,
also.
Everest, and then this is my Everest banner from the Harbor House.
Okay.
That I took
and
up
it's
to
got
the top.
all kinds of handprints and
all kinds of handprints
little
and
sayings
messages.
and stuff from all your little friends.
Yeah.
Was that from the orphanage?
No, this is from the Harbor House.
Oh.
And it's from the girls that attend Girl Space at the YWCA.
Wow.
Yes.
So lots of love in there and gratitude,
yeah,
hey?
Exactly. Yes, a lot of meaning. So now
we
got a phone
call-in.
Oh, we have a
Excuse
call-in.
me.
How cool is that? So this is a little finger piano from Africa. It's very rustic, it's very homemade, and it's way out of tune, but you can play music with this thing. Sorry, so now we got this call, so we'll just take that.
Hello, Jess FM.
All right, who do we have?
No, we are on live TV. Can I let you go?
So it was just an interruption
Thank you.
call.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Well, what's life without having a little fun?
Yep. Nothing like being interrupted. That's fun though.
Well, we have somebody who says best shirt ever over here.
Oh, hey, yeah.
We got some love going on for your cool shirt there. That's awesome.
Nice. I like it when you love my shirt. That's cool.
That's what I was thinking too. Wow, that's pretty fancy. We'll definitely be catching looks with that one.
So no, lots of fun.
And just a reminder that we do have a call-in number on Jess FM. I don't have it right here, but if you did want to call in, today we're mostly just live on Facebook, so just Google, yeah, Jess FM or Jess TV.
Jess TV, give us a call. Yeah, just play random. We're winging this whole thing, so.
Yeah, today we're just kind of winging it, so that's what we're doing. So hey, you played a little tune over there. I missed it as I was catching
this is
wrong number
the
phone
little
call.
finger piano. It's really neat. So it's way out of tune, but it is homemade. And I bought this from a little fellow at a market. I don't know how old he was, but he claimed that he made it. He looked to be about 14.
Oh wow!
Anyway, so it's very, you
it
can
looks
buy
pretty rustic.
Yeah, you can buy professional ones that are like very tuned, but this is very, very rough.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'll just show it over here first. It's very rustic. Can you see that? It's very neat. It's got a hole in the back and it's got a hole here. So hey guys, so here's the finger piano I was just playing for you.
And
It's very rough, but it's very
Did you get to play
fun.
that up on the mountain?
Oh yeah, I took it with me. But I didn't play it a lot. It was more a precious thing. I didn't want to play it a whole lot, and I just kept it wrapped up, and I didn't want to break it. I had it in my bag, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
And as long as we're here with instruments, you do have another one there also.
Oh yeah, this one. This is a singing bowl from Nepal. Yeah, right from Nepal. It's the singing bowl, by the way, is intended to heal a lot of the issues with the human body.
Wow.
And over there, doctors will use these. They'll put water in them, and let's say you have a headache, they'll put it on your head, or they'll put it on your stomach or on your heart or liver, or
wherever's hurting.
Raise the vibration. So basically, you put it in your hand, and you start to play, and it takes the vibration from your body, and it does this. So the bigger, the more depth it has. Whoa, there.
Well, that's still putting out a lot of sound for even a little bowl.
A little bowl, lots of sound.
Lots of energy charged in there.
Yeah, so it makes the water spritz, and it really draws energy to a certain part of the body. But they have little bands where they have these little ones smaller than that, and then they have the big ones on the floor, and they go. They're just so deep. It's so cool. So they actually have these in bands. Yeah, really fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know here. I do singing bowl meditations usually on Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
Over at the center over there at the Spiritual Center, and they run on Thursdays from 5:30 till 6:45.
Wow.
And Jade Sauter does the singing bowl meditations. If you're interested in that, that's at 425 11th Street South. And the Spiritual Center sponsors me, so I always talk about them. So I just thought I'd throw that in there for Jade today.
Cool.
And so that is pretty cool. So you've got, are these still from Kilimanjaro, or are these just kind of from wherever?
Yeah, so this is Kili, and that is from Nepal. I just want to jump in and just talk about the importance of volunteering, because when I volunteered to be a big brother for Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Lethbridge, I didn't realize the effect it would have on me and my family and my friends and everybody. And really, right? It's you don't realize it. So a little stone dropped in the water will make a tidal wave across the world, and it's just the way it works. And so everyone, I would encourage you to do a little bit, no matter what. Just do a little bit for someone. Whether it's driving around in this minus 35 weather that we have, seeing someone without a scarf, knowing you have one around your neck, jump out of the car, go throw it on that person, and drive away. And just, it's those little things that change our world. And And you know,
it is.
It is really,
It
right?
is, and you know what? And if we all took the chance to just do one kind thing every day,
right?
You know, how much better would this world be?
Oh, we'd have a lot of issues solved, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, it's like paying it forward, and you know, it's just that's what it is. Even when you go to Tim Hortons and you buy
Tim Hortons rolled the rim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So and also just pay for the coffee for the person behind you too is kind of always nice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So okay, let me just think. We've gone through quite a few of these. So we'll just talk. I want to hear a story about the Kilimanjaro hike. What was one of the coolest things that happened during that hike?
The coolest
when you started to get near the top.
Oh, the thing about the first climb on Kilimanjaro was I had parasites in my stomach, so I was sick. I was dragging my feet. The further I went, and even like when I got to Barafu Camp, which is right below the summit, I could barely walk. I was so weak, and I was like, "Oh, this is horrible." But I kept pushing forward, and anyway, so I went to bed, and I got out at the tent in the morning. I looked up, and I thought, "There is no way I can do that summit. No way I can do it." But 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, and just slow, slow, slow. And there they say, "Pole, pole, Hakuna Matata." And
I think we've all heard Hakuna Matata before.
Yeah.
But what is the other part?
So pole means slowly, 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 no problem.
Oh.
Right? So they'd say, "Pole, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata." And they would start singing this, and it would get into my head. And pretty soon, I would just slog my feet along, dragging them along, and next thing you know, I'm standing on the summit. And the moment was unbelievable for me. I was filled with all this energy that I don't even know where it came from. I don't.
Adrenaline.
Right?
It's got to be adrenaline. Yeah.
I was like, no way, I'm on top of this part of the world, and I told my coach, I said, if I make it to the top, or no, I didn't say if, I said when I make it to the top of Kilimanjaro, I'm going to drop and do 5 clapping push-ups for you, because he trained me so hard, and this was my thing. And so with me being so sick, I dropped and did 5 clapping push-ups with my backpack on, and really, it was unbelievable. I don't know where the energy came from. So that was just a huge thing for me, and it was a life changer. Because if I can do that, sicker than a dog, and every day fighting to stop,
and be afraid of heights, and get to the top of one of the world's biggest mountains,
yeah, exactly.
You've conquered a lot.
Yes, but what really transformed this whole story into the Everest story was in 2009. I went back and climbed Kilimanjaro again because I wanted to do it without getting sick, and I wanted to raise more funds for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Wow.
And because I came back and I didn't match, there was no big brothers and no big sisters signed up to match kids. So I went, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to go back to the same mountain. I'm going to do it again. So I went back again, and a few kids got matched, which was awesome.
Oh, good.
But funds rolled in. So the first climb, $10,400 came in to Big Brothers.
That's helpful.
That was phenomenal.
Do a lot with that.
Yes, they can. And I know that every dollar raised sent to a charity goes 5 times farther than if we try to do it on our own. So I went back and did Kili again and raised another 10 grand for him. So I was really excited. I'm like, yes, this is working. And then 2 kids got matched, which was awesome. And then the next year, I was like, I'm going to keep going until all these kids are matched. Right? Because there was 88 on the waiting list, by the way. 88 children. And if my little brother's watching right now, hey, buddy, love ya. And I get emotional. Bear with me. Anyway, so I signed up to go to Everest Base Camp in 2010 for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Unbelievable experience. And so
we're going to talk about Mount Everest on the next show.
Yes.
A little bit more.
Yeah. So anyway, I
know there's some really cool stories that happen there.
So I met Lama Geshe, who Pasang Sherpa. If you're watching this right now, you're going to know who Lama Geshe is, and anyone else, if Tashi's watching this. I met this gentleman who he's very high up, and there's the monks, then there's Lama Geshe, and then there's Dalai Lama. And I met him, and he had
Can I see that picture too?
Yes, you sure can. And he wrote a message on the back of it for me. And what he did is he put a silk scarf around my neck and he pulled me forward and we touched forehead. So we touched third eye and he started chanting. And next thing you know, he's telling me that I'm going to climb Mount Everest. And I was
I just got shivers.
So yeah, and I had no intention of
emotional, right? I'm catching the emotional drift off of this.
So I had no idea I was going to climb Everest, and I said, no, that's not true. I'm only going to the base camp for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm not climbing Mount Everest. And he says, no, on May 21st you'll summit. And it took me back.
That's a pretty specific thing to say.
It was very specific, very specific. It was, I didn't get the message right there because he was saying it in a different language. So my guide had to interpret it when we left the little hut, okay?
Beautiful.
So we left the hut and he had said, do you know what he just told you? And I said, no, I have no idea. Anyway, so he says, May 21st, you will summit Mount Everest. I was like, no way. That's not even true because I'm only going to base camp. But
don't question the guru.
Don't question the superpowers that be. So he had wrote on the back here that a blessing for Everest, that she would bless me and my efforts to climb her. And it was pretty amazing. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what I was told that says. I can't read it, but anyway, so so all of a sudden after all these years, I go back to climb Mount Everest, and I brought this with me. And I brought this to the very peak with me. And
that's why it looks a little wear and tear.
Yeah, it's very worn and torn. It's ripped and everything. But guess what day I summited Mount Everest?
On the 21st?
21st of May. Woohoo!
That's why that feels very...
it's goosebumps.
It's giving me goosebumps,
It's
too.
Yeah, my hair on my arms are standing right up on end right now. It's like the energy from that, it was phenomenal.
So did you realize at that point that maybe you have a calling?
Well, you know what?
I mean, when somebody tells you something's magical is going to happen on this day, and you're like, no.
Well,
and then it happens.
It happens,
You might realize that maybe you're meant for something special.
Well, I've been told that a massive amount of times, but I just don't know. I just don't know what gate to go through. But
still do that one foot at a time.
I'm doing it one foot at a time, and Hakuna Matata, yeah. And so, anyhow, long story short, got to Everest Base Camp in Nepal in 2010. Got up there May 15th and came all the way back down. Amazing experience, you guys. If anyone ever wants to trek anywhere in the world, life-changing experience. Everest Base Camp in Nepal is phenomenal.
But be careful about the food you eat.
Well, always when you go to a different country, you have to get shots and you have to be careful what you eat. But after being there in those cultures for a while, our bodies can digest the foods. And I was eating cart food in Kathmandu after being there for 3 weeks. So I was fine. So
we're just not used to a lot of the seasonings.
No, we're not. No, and the flavors and stuff are always different, right? So that's the beauty of going to see different cultures. So, hey, thanks for watching, Joan. Good to see you there. Anyway, came back in 2010, and Big Brother said, "Hey, Trev, we've got 10 matches. So I'm like, this is phenomenal." And so it's super fun. And so the next year I just went here in Alberta to climb Mount Athabasca. And it was a snow and ice climb. So, and I had never been in a harness. I'd never done any ice climbing or ice rescue or crevasse training. So I had to go take a weekend of crevasse and ice rescue training. And all this started to evolve. And so I go and do that climb, come back, and I didn't raise as much money, but in total, we raised $34,000 in 4 climbs going around the world. And I got a special call from Rick, from the president. He says, "You got to come over here. What's your schedule like?" And I said, "Well, I can come over in a few hours." Sure enough, I go over, and the news are all set up. And I said, "Well, what am I walking into?" And he said, "Oh, I don't mean to scare you, but," he says, "I got to tell you something." He said, "This has never happened before, but we have no kids to be matched. They're all matched, and we've got too many bigs and signed up. So Big Brothers, Big Sisters."
And that's never happened.
That hadn't happened before.
Oh, you're
so
amazing.
I was so happy. I was like, yes, this is phenomenal.
It is.
So he said, he went on with the news, and he said,
inspiration.
Yeah, and I'm sure on Global and CTV right now, they can pull up this archive, and it's Rick saying, for the first time in history, we are asking for littles to join because we have all these big signed up and no kids to match. And I was thrilled beyond belief. So that mission accomplished. Then I stopped.
And then got even more.
Yeah. Then I stopped climbing for a bit. So then the Harbor House. I saw a whole bunch of posts a couple years later saying that domestic violence is on the rise and all these issues with social media and it's flaring it up, and the Harbor House is turning away 2,600 women a year in Lethbridge.
Wow,
I'm like,
that's
what?
Horrible.
Are you kidding me? And so some of you know that when I was raised, my home was I witnessed a lot of trauma and a lot of violence.
And a lot of people do.
And
a
lot
just
of people
don't talk
do.
about
And
it.
they don't talk about it. And I didn't talk about it until I was 44 years old, you guys.
Wow.
So once
But you still carried that burden.
I carried the burden, right? And it's a psychological terror that you go through as a kid because you don't know what's happening and you don't know how to stop it and you don't know when it's safe to come home or go in the house. And the things, right? But there's a lot of good times mixed in there. Don't get me wrong. I had a lot of fun, but
everything's an experience.
Everything's an experience. It's like mountain climbing.
You got to take the learning from
it's
it.
Like mountain climbing.
Learning and lessons. Let the rest go.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw this post in 2014, I went, oh man, you know what? When I was growing up, if I knew the Harbor House existed, maybe I could have got my mom away. But I didn't know, and I thought, you know what? Even with social media, there's probably people out there that don't know the Harbor House exists. So you know what? I got in my car. I had a thought. It's similar to when I was asked to go climb a mountain for Big Brothers. I said yes without thinking. Okay, so climbed Killy by accident. And I was like, okay, so seriously, I'm going to drive over to the YWCA and I'm going to do something big for them, and that is climb Everest for them. And the reason I want to climb Everest for them is I know the women and children trying to flee domestic violence that is their mountain. That is their Everest.
It is terrible.
It is terrible. It's terrible because I witnessed it. I've been in it. And my fear of heights was my Everest. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I drove over and I'm like, hey, is the president here, CEO? Like, I got to talk to somebody right now before I change my mind. At Harbor House. So out comes Christine Cassie and says, hi, what do you want? Hello. And I'm like, hello, I want to climb Everest for you. And she's like, what?
Well, that's a little bit of a extreme.
It was an extreme, right? But you know what? I had to blurt it out. And as soon as I said it, I committed my mind to it. And then I quickly drove home and told my wife.
By the way, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm going to be climbing in Everest. And she's like, oh, she says, wow, how's that going to happen? But you'll find a way, you always do. And so I went and started training in the coulees with lots of weight on. And had a lot of people join me on the stairs. If anyone's watching has joined me on the stair workouts, thank you for your inspiration and keeping me going. And the donations started pouring in for the Harbor House. So it was amazing to see, and people gave me money just to cover some of my costs and help me get there. It was amazing to see this community come together.
Wow.
Amazing. So
and you being a leader.
Wow. It's just baby steps. There's pole, right? Very slowly, just keep going.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. So that's that.
So what is Harbor House?
Harbor House is a safe place for women and children to get away from domestic violence, and it's also full of programs and
recovery programs,
retraining them and just helping them to understand that a lot of times it's not their fault.
It's a cycle.
And
they become to the point where they believe that there's no way out.
That's right.
That maybe they deserve it.
Yeah, and it's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
So
I think that's from years of mental abuse that they just they give up hope of having a happy life, and maybe next life things will be better.
Yes, exactly.
And when you're that destitute that you have no hope, you need to go to a place like Harbor House.
You do.
And you need to get to have you do work to help them. Even just knowing that, somebody's trying to help us.
That's the thing is this movement transformed, transferred around the world. This movement helped YWCAs around the world because they're like, hey, what is this guy climbing Everest for you? Like, why a guy? Like, so men started coming through the door, and they're like, we need help too. And so just last year alone, here in Lethbridge, 70 men came knocking on that door. They need help. They've been abused by their mate, whether, whoever it is. So they didn't turn them away.
Yeah, so it's not only women that are being abused. Men are being abused also.
Too, men and boys. And so when they come to the Harbor House, the staff relocate them to a safe home and give them help. So they're not without help. And this really reached out across and around the world to all the YWCA. So it's really cool. That little stone in the water made a ripple effect around the world.
That little skate around the lake.
Yeah, that's right.
kind of started a huge effect.
It did. Totally.
And changed many people's lives. And help the kids and help moms and dads and just families in general.
Well, I hope so.
I hope that feels good.
I hope it's working.
Yeah, I know that it's a difficult struggle when you're trying to get somewhere in life and somebody's trying to hold you down, or somebody thinks that you're really their property, and that's just a difficult situation. And there are places in Lethbridge and around the world, but Lethbridge we have the YMCA. Also, we have Harbor House. We have homeless shelters. We have all kinds of things for people in trouble.
Absolutely.
But they all need funding. They all need help. They don't the money needs to come from somewhere. So when you have somebody who goes out of their way and climbs a huge mountain, you deserve the key to the city for opening that up and opening up that attention to people and opening up that love in people's hearts to be able to give. Like even, $30,000, that's a lot.
Big time.
That's a lot of meals. That's maybe
it's a lot of help. It's a lot
some new beds or whatever they need.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And my mission was to create more space so that women and children do not need to be turned away in the volumes that they were. So my goal was to raise $250,000 for the Harbor House so they could either take that money and put it down on another building or build a building or something, right? Like I wanted to go really big.
So we're still working on this goal then?
Yeah, we're still working on it. I've got $43,000 raised now.
Wow.
For the Harbor House, so I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like we're going to have to do something here to get people aware and know. Do you have anything planned for the future for any more climbs? Or there might be some other stuff that I don't know. There's some offers I know on the table that people are interested in your story. There's a number of people very interested in my story. Besides me and Jess FM and our listeners and watchers.
Yeah.
And the thousands of people on your Facebook page I've seen too.
I just want to keep inspiring and motivating people around the world and locally and just my ultimate goal is to have a book written here soon and to share that with people, and it'll be filled with metaphors so people can relate something in the book to themselves and that way, so they won't get lost and just read a boring book. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
your stories are fun, and so are you. It's amazing that your accomplishments.
Well, thank you.
For one person to just do those kinds of things, to make that difference.
Yeah, anything's possible once we wrap our head around it. And I kept saying right up until the end, how is this going to be possible because I don't have enough money to climb Everest? And I thought it'd be no problem to get a sponsor. I thought sponsors will come out of the woodwork here. They'll want their banners on top of Mount Everest. But the big sponsors never showed up. So I had to really dig deep and figure this out, and how is this going to work? And it was brutal. It was really brutal. And but we made it.
But you made the difference.
We made it, right? And made it to the top of Everest. So do we have time to, what time is it right now?
We've got 20 minutes out.
So we got maybe 10 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. So just want to talk about the climb on Everest, and we'll do this in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Okay, so...
I know we started late.
We did start late.
We started 3 times.
Yeah, we did. We started late. We had sound problems and everything.
We had sound
Sorry
problems.
about
So
that.
thank you, Laura, for letting me know that there was no sound there, and other people who also made the comment. If it wasn't for you, we would be sitting here in silence.
Yeah, exactly.
So I appreciate that.
Yes.
Your comments mean a lot to us. And we are live on 2 different channels right now, your Facebook and also on Just FM Live. We will be sharing that.
Yes.
That will eventually go up to YouTube, and we will have it on YouTube once we get that going again. But we are also live on justfm.ca, the app, which is a radio broadcast that goes worldwide, and we have about 2.5 million subscribers there.
Yes.
So we are kind of getting around a little bit of this word that, we kind of got to be nice to each other and climb a mountain. No.
We'll climb mountains in our own lives.
Yeah, we all have our
the thing.
own mountain.
Yeah,
we don't pick like the biggest one on the planet, but,
yeah, definitely. So
let's talk about that thing about Everest.
So after I decided to go climb Everest, and I fundraised, and I fundraised, and I fundraised, I fundraised for 18 months, and I trained really, really hard every single day, and then all of a sudden, here I am flying off to Nepal, and I brought a good friend Troy with me from Troy's No Frills. Troy, if you're watching, hey buddy. And what he did, he wanted to go to Everest Base Camp South really bad, and then climb Lobuche Peak. So I was like, let's do that. I said, you know what? We'll get to Everest Base Camp. You can go do Lobuche. I'll go do Everest and whatever, right? So we land and we get all the way to base camp, and my guide says, you know what? He says, I'm not feeling climbing the south side here. Yeah. So because for 2 years they had avalanches and they had earthquakes, and so it rocked the mountain. And the icefall was unstable, and he wasn't quite sure about it, so he's like...
Better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry, Trevor. Let's go to the north side. And I'm like, how are we going to do that? We're here in... Oh, man, I'm like so deflated. I'm like, no way. So I'm like, okay, so what does this mean? He goes, well, we got to go all the way back down to Kathmandu. We've got to get our tickets, fly to China, get our visa, wait, and then make our way to base camp over there. Oh man, so that extended.
That's a little sidetrack.
That was sidetrack, and you know what? We have curveballs thrown at us, right? Mm-hmm. Even in our lives, we have curveballs.
Always.
And
daily, like
sometimes,
a heartbeat.
right? We have a plan, and next thing you know, that plan is going somewhere else, and
keeps us alive.
Keeps us alive.
Keeps us alive, knowing there's going to be ups and downs.
Yeah.
If you got a lot of ups, that's great. But you gotta have the downs.
Gotta have the downs. Gotta have the downs to rest, right? Like sometimes it's too hard going up. So we get all the way back down, and on the way back down, I get gout in my foot so bad, and I had to walk. Oh, I can't remember, 16 kilometers or something with gout until I found a clinic, and then I got help. But in the meantime, my guide and Troy were hiking up Lobuche, so I was doing this hike down by myself, and one of the porters came with me. And so anyway, got my medication and kept on going. And so anyway, got over to the north side, finally got up to the base camp and acclimatized there with some other some people that did this big camp anyway. So my guide Tashi had a cousin who had this camp, so we just hung out there and set up our tents in that camp and started making our way up the mountain. So just real brief, going along, and we're about getting close to advanced base camp, which is about 21,500 feet. Just before that camp, I came across a yak completely frozen in its tracks. Completely
well, there's
frozen.
Encouragement,
right? And they're like, "Oh, okay, this isn't good. What am I doing? And then
that's their territory,
this
right?
This is their territory, and they're hairy, and they're like this. A yak is like almost like a cross between a cow and a buffalo or something. It's an awesome looking animal, and very powerful, and made for high elevations. So
and
I was like,
frozen?
It's frozen in its tracks, mouth is open. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? So anyway, I thought if that thing froze immediately in its tracks, then this could happen to me.
Well, that would definitely run by.
And it's stuff you think about when you're making all these preparations over here, how cold it can get, but you don't really realize it until you're up there. And then just going past there, I was up to about 23,000 feet, and climbed too fast, started vomiting. And my guide's like, oh, not good, not good, not good. Drink this ginger tea, drink soup, ginger soup. And so I did that.
Back.
Yeah, so I did that and rested up, and my headache went away, and my stomach started feeling better. So anyway, we keep on going, and next thing you know, we're coming up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But my Sherpa can't breathe very well, and he's having a real struggle. So
is that the leader?
It's no, my guide. There's a guide and a Sherpa, and the Sherpa is the man who goes in front, a day in front or a couple hours in front, and make sure the line's good, make sure there's oxygen.
Okay.
Also make sure our camp
So
is
he's
set
kind of
up.
like the pilot.
Yeah, he's like a pilot,
Yeah.
and then he'll come back and find us, or he'll wait for us in our camp. But my guide would take me up the rope. So just getting up there and then freaking out because Mingma couldn't breathe, and so he'd take his oxygen mask off. In 1 second, here it is, right here.
It's got an oxygen mask here that
So
doesn't look like much.
Doesn't look like much, but there it is. So this is the mask here. If you can see that, it's also on my face here.
Oh,
So,
okay. That's the same picture?
Yeah, it's the same mask. Yep. So you have it on, and then you can basically, you have to move this to see if you're breathing. It's a little bag in there that fills up and deflates. Anyway,
Just see if you're breathing?
To see if see if you have oxygen in your tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Mingma wasn't making that bag deflate or inflate, and so there was a problem. And so I thought, well, maybe I should put my mask on him. So all I did is I just put it in his face, and he couldn't breathe. So I was like, oh, this is so scary.
That would be scary.
So as we're getting right near the top, they said, Mingma and Tashi says, you go, the peak is up there, you go, and we'll come. So I get up there, and I'm there on top of the world by myself.
That's what I was just thinking, oh, what?
And, yeah, and I'm up there by myself, and I thought maybe I was just on a ledge, and I thought there was maybe more mountain to climb because the time was not the time that we were supposed to be on the peak. And so I was like, oh man, okay. So I'm looking around with my headlamp to see if there was more mountain to climb, and there was nothing. So I was like, what? I'm here. So I sat down on top of the world and waited, and then they got there. So amazing.
Nothing like being all by yourself on top of the
and
world.
having that moment. So I kept closing my eyes, and I kept saying, how am I feeling? Am I okay? Am I hallucinating? Am I good? Because I heard all these stories about people
that I would be thinking, am I hallucinating?
Yeah, like, am I okay? Like,
am I breathing?
Yeah. Am I thinking clear? Is this all good? So
then I frozen.
And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I have my cell phone with me. I can text my wife. And so I pull it out and I text my wife and send it. And it was 3:45 in the morning when I finally decided and remembered my cell phone was in there. But I had got up there prior to that, but it took a few minutes to register that I was actually there. So then I took a short video. Yeah, I took a short video, and then my cell phone died. It was 19 seconds long.
Oh, at least you got that.
And it died. Yeah, so it was pretty amazing. And then when Tashi and Mingma got there, Mingma wasn't breathing well, so they were hurrying, and then next thing you know, we start down.
Cool.
So yeah, and then this is.
So you got to have your moments there anyway.
Yes, we did. I had some moments up there. This picture
that
right
you actually
here.
got on film too, thank God.
Yes, I got it on film. Got some GoPro video. It was amazing. This is our Camp 3, and this right here is in the blue. I don't know if you can see that, but is my guide, and right behind him is an Indian woman that we had to rescue.
We're gonna save that story because that one's gonna. I want to get into that story.
Yeah, we'll
This
save
is
that.
an amazing story of being a hero, really.
Well, Tashi himself assisted, and you know what? It's amazing when you come across someone in distress, no matter at what elevation or where in our planet, reach out and help them. Miracles happen, and she was left to die. And just to say that she was abandoned and left to die, and we found her, and so
we'll get more into that story next episode.
Brought her down. Yeah. So long and short of
that,
there. I did. Yeah. Well, Tashi and Mingma and I were lucky to find her. So as far as the climb was a success, and I got home, and then realized that I had raised almost 40,000, and since I got home, raised about 3 more thousand. So we're at 43,000 for the charity now.
So if somebody wants to donate to this charity, is there a GoFundMe page, or is there a...
There's no GoFundMe on this. It's just the YWCA Lethbridge has a website, and you can go online and make a donation. And you can also tag what it is for. You can tag Elevating Lives or Trevor's campaign. You could tag the donation so they know that that's still going to benefit the women and children through my efforts. So that's.
I think we should start a GoFundMe page or GoFund the Harbor House or whatever charity you decide, and we'll start it and
see if we can reach 250,000.
And then we'll work on telling some stories about what's going on, and maybe when your book gets going.
Cool stuff.
Got to do that.
The book's gonna go this year. The book will be out.
Yeah. Have you done any inspirational speaking?
Yes, I have.
Okay, because it really feels that's kind of a natural thing for you.
Oh, I get more inspired than the people watching, I'm sure, because I leave there just happy to share my story and to see everyone so into it too. Yeah.
So do you have any places where people can see any of these videos?
I've got my Facebook page, Trevor Stewart Elevating Lives.
Okay.
I've got that page going, and then I did post a whole bunch of videos and pictures to that over the years.
Okay. Lots of really cool pictures too. I've had to look at that.
Lots
kind of just picked a few of them for the ad, but
yes,
there was some nice pictures in there.
Yeah, thank you. And I've got a website. It's www.elevatinglives.com. And the most of it is done. The only page that's under construction is the speaking page. But go ahead, look at the blogs. Those are a lot of fun. And so that's pretty much a wrap. And thank you all for watching.
We could probably be going on and talk for another 5 or 6 hours here, I'm sure. But we are running out of time because we did start late. And sorry. And thank you for hanging with us here, even though we started late.
Yes.
We'll have to figure out a time when you can come back.
Sure, we'll figure that out as we go.
Yes, I'll keep the people on Debbz FM and your friends. Thanks for chirping in, all your friends over there. And we will have this up on YouTube. Do you have anything on YouTube yet?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, so people can check
Trevor Stewart, Trevor Stewart Realtor, Lethbridge, or Trevor Stewart Climbs Everest, or something like that. There's enough stuff out there that you can find on Google, even just Google my name. Yeah. Okay,
I did do that, and I found your. Since we're doing this, you're with Remax, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's plug that you're
No,
yes.
It's not even about that.
No, it's not about that. But if you are thinking of selling or buying a home,
yay! Yeah, choose Trev. Yeah.
Choose Trevor, and
choose
you never know. When you're dealing with good people, you can always know that you're going to get good service. So that's one thing that's important too.
Service is ultimate. That's right.
So we usually do a meditation. So I'm just going to actually do a quick, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
I'm going to just do a 2-minute meditation.
Sure.
So I'm just going to actually have everybody sit down and relax, take a deep breath. And I just want you to imagine a great big mountain in front of you. And this is your mountain of life. So I just take a deep breath and relax, and we're going to go inside. And as we get to the base of this mountain, I want you to imagine walking up that first part of the mountain and seeing how beautiful everything is, and just realizing that everything in your life, we're going to take 7 steps. Each step of this mountain is going to be part of your life. So the first step is going to be the exciting, the safe, the beautiful part of things in your life. This is your home, your security, the food, and all of those wonderful things. And as you climb through that area, I want you to take all of that in and just feel the energy of being in a beautiful, beautiful place. And just take that in. And as we take the next step, we're going to move into, is this where we say we have bushes? Did you say it was more like little trees and bushes? I want you to imagine as you're climbing now that going from the jungle, you're now getting into an area that's a little bit less beautiful, but nonetheless beautiful itself. So this would be in your root chakra area. So we're just going to talk about, with this area here, maybe there's berries, and maybe this is where you can find things that are going to be good for you, roots, just different things. And I want you to put that into yourself too, is that you can find, when you look, you find the good things for you. Eat good food, do good things for people, be inspired. And this is what I want you to find on this part of the hike up this mountain. And as we move on, I want you to get to this clearing. And in the clearing, it's wide open spaces. There's anything that you can do here. I know the wind is rolling and everything else is going, but I want you to gather the energy from this area and bring this energy in as a light into your body, and knowing that you are being inspired and knowing that your inspiration is going to help others. This is in your social power, and I want you to know that no matter how barren it might seem, that there's always hope, and that you can take power from hope. And then as if we move on, now things are starting to get to the point where you need to worry about, tell me a little bit about when you get to the next part of the mountain. This is the area where you're going to be looking around, and we're at the heart area. This is where you realize what really matters, because now you're starting to realize this is not only about the physical body, but this is about the spiritual body. This journey is transforming into growing, into realizing that there is something special about you. There's something special in your heart. And looking in this area, knowing that it's dangerous, that there's challenges here that might set you back, or might actually even endanger you, but you still have to keep going. No matter what, draw the strength from your heart and keep going. And then as you get up a little bit higher, now you're having a little bit of more trouble breathing as we work into the throat chakra area. And as you're climbing this mountain, I want you to realize that every single breath you take means you're going to live. When you stop breathing, you stop getting that would be the end of you. And you know that by breathing, you might have to put on an apparatus at this point and put something over your face to help you breathe, to know that you can't move too fast or too slow. At this point, most things are really kind of going to not matter as much. But what matters is the communication that you're having within yourself, that you stay positive, that you stay true to yourself. Rather than worrying about all of the exterior things in your life, worry about what's going on within your communication and how you can change things in your life. And then as we move up to the top, and you can almost see the peak of the mountain, you're getting to this point where now your mind is starting to be excited. The adrenaline is there. Now we're going to just ask that, we're going to release anything negative that's not serving you. The air is thin. You might be all by yourself up there, and you're standing there on top of the world, looking down on everyone, thinking, who am I? What am I here for? What is it about me that wants to make this world a better place? And I want you all to take that in when you're getting near the top of your mountain. How can I help others? And then as we get to the top, we reach the peak, and you're standing all alone by yourself at the peak on the top of the world. I want you to feel that you've conquered this. You've done this. You've conquered the climb. And no matter what your climb is, if you are in Harbor House, or if you are in a relationship that is at no end, not good for you, it's okay, because as long as you go through those steps, you can get out of it. You can get what you deserve out of life. And always focus on getting to the top. I'm going to leave that with you now. Thank you for listening to Jess FM. This is Deb from Debbz Den. You can find me at Debbz Den, DebbzDen.com is my webpage. And I'm Debbz Den on everything else also. Gmail, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You'll find me at Debbz Den. You can check us there. And how to get a hold of you if people want to get a hold of you.
They can email me at bookings@elevatinglives.com.
Okay.
or just right on Facebook. You can go right to my page, Trevor Stewart Elevating Lives. You could in-message me directly. And I want to leave you with a closing thought, and I want to say, what is your Everest? And just to show you how impactful that is for me, I've got it on my arm. What's your Everest? I don't know if you can see that. You can see that? What's your Everest? And just, think
we
about
all
that.
Have one. Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it all the time. And you might even be in it right now. You might even be on your Everest. You might be fully engaged in an Everest mission right now. And take hope and don't lose hope. So I want to leave you with that thought. What's your Everest? Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week, hopefully on time. But anyway, thanks for watching us. Do share, do like, do post. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll be checking in those feeds. And other than that, have a fantastic week. We'll catch you on Valentine's Day next week. Thanks.
That's awesome. There we go.
Bye.
There.
I'll get to that one over there.
Okay.
Thanks for watching us on Just FM. Have a good day.